Most of the richest people in the world started with nothing, which means that your empty bank account is not the main thing that's holding you back. W and I started Apple in my parents' garage when I was 20. People like me, I was born in a very poor family. I never got a great education. I failed all the examinations. For what reason? I don't know. But later I realized I don't have money, I don't have technology, I don't have a lot of good backgrounds. We have a rich uncle or something. You know, the only thing I compete with my people, the young people, is let's compete for 10 years later. Look at the Forbes 400, the richest people in America, and you'll find that a record 70% of them built their fortune from scratch with no inheritance, no head start, just a person who decided to begin. The list is mostly a list of self-made billionaires, but 70% of the Forbes 400 made their fortune. So the fact that you're starting from zero today decides only one thing, which is whether the person you become 10 years from now thanks you for starting or wishes that you had. One of the things that I've learned in my business is that the mistakes are where all the learning is. And actually the mistakes and the imperfect stuff, that's where the gold is, everybody. Look, when I'm 80 years old, I want to have minimized the number of regrets that I have. I don't want to be 80 years old in a quiet moment of reflection, thinking back over my life and cataloging a bunch of major regrets. Let me tell you about a man who got rejected by everybody. His name is Jack Ma. He grew up poor in China, and he failed his university entrance exam twice. I failed a key primary school test for 2 times, and I failed like 3 times for the middle school for 3 years. I tried to fill in the university. When he finished school, he applied for 30 different jobs and got rejected by all 30 of them. KFC opened up in this town. 24 people applied and 23 of them got hired. He was the only one they turned down. The only one. I failed so many times. People probably know that I applying jobs for so many jobs. Over 30 jobs, all rejected. None even got a chance. 24 of us interviewed for a KFC job. 23 accepted. I was the only guy rejected. He finally landed work as an English teacher, making about $12 a month. Then in 1995, he traveled to America and saw the internet for the very first time. And something clicked in him. He went home with an idea nobody believed in. And in 1999, he gathered 17 of his friends into a small apartment, and they started a little company called Alibaba. People told him he was crazy, that nobody in China would ever shop online. He kept going anyway. He kept getting the door slammed in his face, and he kept on knocking on new ones. And in 2014, Alibaba went public and raised about $25 billion. It was the biggest stock offering the world had ever seen at that point, and Jack Ma became one of the richest people on the planet. From being rejected by KFC to one of the top 5 wealthiest people in the world. He didn't have the money. He didn't even know how to code. He didn't come from a big, powerful family or some fancy school. By every measure the world uses to decide who was going to make it, Jack Ma was supposed to fail. He was supposed to stay an English teacher, making $12 a month for the rest of his life. And everyone around him agreed. So the only thing that he had that you don't is that he refused to stop. Okay, so here's what you might be thinking. That's Jack Ma. That's China. It's a billion-person market, right? Right place, right time. And you don't have any of that. You've got bills, a job you're tired of. You've got no money saved, nobody in your corner, right? I've been broke, I've been stuck, I've been exactly where you are. When I was 19, I turned down a 6F Figaro dream job to join a tiny startup for $300 a month. I worked out of my partner's dining room. I ate McDonald's French fries and bean salad because it was the cheapest food that I could find. I was so embarrassed that I lied to my friends and said I was just hustling when I was really just broke. And one night I called my partner and I quit, and I cried my eyes out. And the next morning I knocked on his door and just went back to work. I had no money. I had no clue. What I figured out, though, is that you don't need to be a genius to win. You just need to start, and then you need to refuse to stop. And you are sitting on more tools today than I ever had. So let me show you exactly how you can get rich when you're starting from nothing. If you've been here before, drop a hashtag believe in the comments below so I can feature you here in a future video. And if you're new, welcome to Believe Nation, the only channel that helps you believe in yourself daily, one video at a time. Believe. Step number 1, start with the skill you already have. I think your purpose comes from your pain. The thing that you struggle through the most, a problem that you've already solved for yourself, that's the seed of how you make money. So you don't need a brand new idea that nobody's ever heard of. You need a real problem that real people will pay to fix. And the best place to find that is in what you already know. So look at your own life and ask, what do people already come to me for? What did I have to figure out the hard way? What would I paid someone to teach me a year ago? That's your starting point. So when I was broke, I didn't have capital. I didn't have any connections. What I had was the ability to study what worked and apply it. So you have that skill right now, today too, that somebody out there will pay for. So maybe you're really good with words and writing. Maybe you can edit video, or you can sell, or you can organize chaos, or you can teach something that you take for granted. That skill that you take for granted is the key. It feels easy to use. So you assume it's easy for everyone, and it isn't. The stuff that comes naturally to you is exactly the same stuff that someone else is struggling with right now and would gladly pay to have it solved. So write down 3 things that people already trust you with. The friend who always asks you to look at their resume, the cousin who needs you to fix their phone, the co-worker who copies how you handle clients. That is not just random things. That is the market. That's people telling you where your value already is. So stop waiting to feel qualified, right? I believe the being leads to the doing. The moment you decide that you're someone who helps people with this skill, the actions start to follow, and the confidence shows up after the action, not before it. You build belief by starting, not by waiting until you feel ready, because ready is not actually real. You already have the skills that can pay you your first dollars, and your job is to stop hiding it and start moving towards it. Step number 2, build your money 50 list. So this is something we teach inside of our Movement Makers program. This is the fastest way I know to make real cash from zero. Here's what you do. You don't need a giant audience. You need 50 of the right people. So open up Google Maps or LinkedIn. Find 50 people who could either become a high-value client or send you high-value clients. So people connected to real money in the niche that you picked. When you reach out and you don't sell them anything, you lead with a gift. You invite them onto your show, your podcast, your live stream, whatever you want to call it, just to interview them and highlight their story. You spend an hour or 2 genuinely getting to know them and making them look great. And somewhere in that conversation, you ask one question that connects back to what you do. So they naturally start asking about you as well. When the recording stops, the door is now open. Now you can offer to help them. I've watched people build 7-figure businesses with only 50 subscribers because it was never about the size of the audience. It was about the size of the relationships that you're building. 50 of the right people beats 50,000 of the wrong people every time. You could spend years trying to build a massive following and stay broke the whole time. I've seen it happen over and over again, refreshing your numbers and wondering why that money never comes in. Or you can skip that entire line by going straight to the people who are already doing and have the connection to what you want to build and giving to them before you ever ask. Step number 3, sell high ticket from day one. Okay, this is where most beginners get it backwards, and it's what keeps a lot of people poor. So you start by trying to sell a $40 ebook or a cheap little course, and then you realize that you need thousands and thousands of buyers just to make a living, which means that you need to really build a giant, expensive marketing machine that you can't afford. So what I want to do is flip it. When you're starting with nothing, it's so much easier to find 5 people who will pay you $2,000 than it is to find 2,000 people who pay you $5. So look at that. 5 clients at $2,000 is $1,000 a month. To make that same $1,000 selling a $5 ebook, you need to convince and find 2,000 strangers every single month. Same money, completely different amount of work. So sell the high value version first. Sell direct access to you. Solve a painful, expensive problem for a small number of people who can actually pay to have it solved. You don't need a fancy website, complicated funnel to do any of this. A simple payment link is more than enough to collect the first dollars. Charge what the result is worth to them, not what feels comfortable for you to ask for. And the cheap path feels safer, but it usually buries you in volume that you can't handle while you're still really small. The high value path lets you make real money from a handful of the right fit clients right now. And that money is what buys you the time to build everything else. Also, if you want to take real action after this video, I made a free worksheet just for you. It covers the top lessons from today, gives you space to write biggest takeaways, and helps you build a simple action plan. It's 100% free. Just click the link in the description below to go grab it. I'll see you there. Step number 4. Start before you're ready. Done beats perfect every single time. My first video back in 2009 took me 2 days to make. I wore a suit and tie. I was incredibly nervous and I had to bury the whole thing in B-roll because I couldn't even remember my own script. It was pretty rough. But I made the next one, and then I made the next one, and then thousands more after that. The quantity leads to the quality. You do not get good and then start. You start, and the starting is what makes you good. So many people's dreams die in just the planning stage and the endless preparing, the researching, the waiting for the perfect moment that never actually comes. So don't wait for permission. Nobody's going to come here and tap you on the shoulder and say it's finally your time. You give yourself permission. You put out the first imperfect thing. You learn from it. And then you put out the next one, and it's a little bit better. The fear doesn't go away because you wait. It goes away because you act. Your first attempt is going to be bad, and that's completely fine. That's the price of admission. Expect to suck at the beginning. Push through the awkward early reps with volume, because every single piece of volume makes you smarter, makes you sharper. And the person who starts ugly today beats the person who's still waiting to start pretty a year from now. The market doesn't reward the one who's most ready. It rewards the ones who showed up and kept showing up. Jack Ma's first company failed completely before Alibaba ever existed. He didn't wait until he had it all figured out. He started, it flopped. He learned, he started again. That's the pattern. You're allowed to be bad at the beginning. You're not allowed to never begin. Step number 5, copy what already works. So when I was broke in that dining room, I had a realization that changed everything. I didn't need to be smarter than everyone. I just needed to study what already worked and copy or model that pattern. So I looked at Bill Gates and how we grew Microsoft from nothing to its first $7 million. And I saw it came from smart partnerships like the deal Microsoft made with IBM. I took that exact idea and applied it to my own tiny company. I went looking for partners who already had the audience that I wanted, my clients. And that one move landed me my first real deal worth $135,000 when I had basically nothing in the bank. I eventually built that company up. We sold it in my early 20s. And that's not to brag. I'm just telling you the playbook already exists. Whatever you want to build, someone has already done a version of it, and they've left footprints that you can follow. So find them, study exactly how they did it, and follow the path that they already cut through the jungle. You can shave years off your journey just by refusing to start from scratch. You don't get extra credit for figuring out the hard way all by yourself. You don't need to reinvent the wheel when you can study the people who already built one, and then you can just start rolling. Step number 6, protect your time. When you're starting out, your time is the only real money that you have. So we need to start guarding it like it matters, because your future actually does. Run everything through 3 filters. I call them eliminate, automate, and delegate. So first, eliminate. Look at your day and just ruthlessly cut out anything that doesn't move you forward. I once stopped sending manual meeting notes to clients and found out that none of them even cared. I got hours back just like that. Second is automate. So anything routine that's left, hand it to software and tools and AI so it can run without you touching it. And then third, delegate. Whatever's still left, get it off your plate so you can spend your hours on the one thing that brings in money, which is finding and serving clients. A guy I coach was down to his last dollar, and 2 people had signed up for his program. I told him to stop hiding and go stream free live coaching where people could finally see his skills in action. He signed 55 clients in 2 weeks and built a company that was almost 2 million in 4 months. That's what happens when you stop drowning in just busy work and you pour your time into the thing that actually pays you. Your time is your seed money. So we want to plant it where it can grow, not just where it keeps you busy. Step number 7, Guard your belief in your circle. This is the one that decides whether you make it, because starting with nothing is as much a head game as it is a money game. Remember that every single person around Jack Ma told him he was crazy. If he had believed them, then there's no Alibaba. The world will hand you 100 reasons to quit before you ever see your first real win. And a lot of those reasons will come from people who love you but have never done what you're trying to do. So you have to protect your belief. Feed your mind every day with people who have already walked the road through their books, their videos, their words. So the voice in your head telling you to keep going, that voice becomes louder than the voices that around you are telling you to stop. And watch who you spend time with, because slowly you become the average of the 5 closest people to you. Like Jim Rand says, find the ones who are building something, who light you up instead of draining you, who help move you towards things. When you start with nothing, your belief in yourself is the very first asset that you're actually building, before the money, before the clients, before any of it. So you need to guard it, you need to protect it, because everything else you're going to build gets built on top of that. So here's what I want you to walk away with. Starting from nothing is not a curse. It's awesome. It's a blank slate. You've got no bad habits to learn, no reputation to protect, nothing to lose, and everything to build. Jack Ma had less than you have right now, and he changed the world. I had $300 a month and bean salad every day, and I built a life that I love. Every single thing I just gave you, starting with your skill, building the Money 50 list, selling high value, starting before you're ready, modeling what is working, protecting your time, and guarding your belief. Every one of those things is something that you can begin today with $0. The only thing standing between you and your first win is the decision to start swinging. You have a skill, you have the internet, you have AI, and you have this one moment to decide. You know, when the best time to start was years ago. You know, the second best time right now. How about right now? If you can do this, and you can, then you must. And congratulations, you're one video closer to who you're meant to be. But leave. Now let's learn why you don't need a job to make money. Security in a corporate job doesn't exist anymore. The safe job is about to be unsafe. So far this year, companies have cut more than 800,000 jobs. That's the highest number we have seen since the pandemic. A major West Michigan company plans to cut hundreds of jobs. Tonight, Grand Rapids-based Acura is telling us that artificial intelligence is replacing actual employees. Over 80% of students feel they learn nothing about entrepreneurship in school, even though most want to start their own businesses. The only non-gamble in life is going on a fence.
And you've been taught that going on a fence is the gamble, because the school system was literally created to create factory workers. Our school systems teach us nothing about money. Nothing. It's pathetic. So at 25, I recommitted to my education, but this time I started studying not things that were in books, but people that had actually created wealth. Sticking to a traditional career path limits your impact, keeps you miserable, and stops you from sharing your unique genius with the world. My sense is that even for the kids that get into the elite colleges at this point, it's like you've passed some Mandarin examination in China, but you're just so exhausted you're never going to do anything more the rest of your life. You're burned out at 18. You take a calculated risk to start a company, realizing you may forego a couple of years of steady income on your job, and whatever else. That's a great risk to take. And if you don't take that risk, I think you have a very high chance that you end up regretting that. Where are you going to spend your time? And your energy is one of the most important decisions you get to make in life. When I was 19, I had the hardest choice to make. I was in university and I had a job offer for a safe 6F figure investment banking job. Was a job everybody wanted. But I also had a chance to own 30% of a biotech software making only $300 a month. And I picked a startup. I chose to struggle eat beans for lunch because the thought of sitting in a cubicle doing work I hated scared me more than being broke. I knew I had to take control of my own income. Think about Colonel Sanders. At 65 years old, he had a tiny $105 Social Security check. He didn't go looking for a greeter job at a local store. He took his chicken recipe, hit the road, and slept in his car. He faced a 109 rejections before finally someone said yes to his franchise idea.
He proved that you can create massive wealth at any age just by owning your own ideas instead of working for someone else. Brian Chesky and Joe Jabir couldn't pay their rent in San Francisco. They didn't rush out to get safe, normal jobs. Instead, they put 3 air mattresses on their floor and charged people to sleep there during a local design conference. That simple idea turned into Airbnb. They created a 100 million company because they look for a creative way to solve a problem instead of looking for a safe corporate salary. And right now, you might be thinking that you need thousands of dollars in the bank to start making your own money. You think you need rich parents or some giant loan to succeed. And that's not true. Colonel Sanders was broke at 65. Airbnb started with 3 cheap air mattresses. You don't need money to make money. You just need a problem to solve and the courage to take the first step. I'm going to show you exactly how to start generating your own income from scratch. Right now, solve your own biggest problem. To make money without a job, you've got to realize where value actually comes from. You get paid for bringing value to other people. The absolute easiest way to bring values is to look directly at your own life. Your purpose comes from your pain. Whatever you struggle with the most is exactly what you want to help other people overcome. So think about your past. If you had a hard time getting fit and you figured out a system that works, that system is your new business. If you struggled with anxiety and found a way to manage it, that method, that's your business. You don't need a fancy business degree to make this happen. You just need to be one step ahead of the person that you're trying to help. Over 62% of billionaires are totally self-made, meaning they've created their wealth by solving real problems, not by inheriting cash. People pay you to solve their problems because they desperately want to skip the pain that you have already went through. You're selling speed and convenience. If you can help someone skip 5 years of painful trial and error, they pay you for that shortcut. So don't think you need to invent the next big tech platform to be successful. Look at the local business in your town. They need help with their marketing, their accounting, their daily operations. They've got massive problems right now. You can step in and help fix those problems. When you focus entirely on serving others and solving their actual pain points, you stop acting like an employee begging for a simple paycheck, and you start acting like a true entrepreneur commanding a premium price. You stop handing out weak resumes and start handing out powerful solutions for problems. This simple shift in your mindset changes everything. You go from hoping that a boss picks you to knowing that the market desperately needs you. So you've got to stop looking for a company to hire you and start looking for a person to help. The money will always follow the value you provide. So if you fix $100 problem, you make a little bit of money. If you fix $1,000 problem, you make a lot more money. It's simple. Your job right now is to identify the most expensive problem you know how to solve, and then go find the exact people who are crying out for that exact solution. But finding a problem is only the first step, because your surroundings might be secretly destroying your chances of success. Change your environment to change your mind. Your current environment is perfectly designed to keep you exactly where you are right now. So if your friends all have traditional jobs, they'll constantly tell you to get a safe job. They aren't trying to hurt you. They just don't understand your big vision. Research shows that you're up to 61% more likely to adopt the exact habits and mindsets of the people closest to you. So if you want to make your own money, you must change your daily environment. You've got to completely shut out the negativity. Limit your access to people who doubt you and fill that empty space with extreme positivity and the specific messages you actually want to hear. So if you can't find supportive friends in your own town yet, go find them online. Read powerful books. Listen to great podcasts. Watch amazing YouTube videos from the exact people who are already doing what you want to do. I started my YouTube channel because I wanted to surround myself with some of the greatest minds in history. I wanted Steve Jobs and Warren Buffett in my ear every single morning. I wanted their intense ambition to rub off on me. You've got to be incredibly intentional with your daily morning routine. Don't wake up and immediately scroll through toxic social media or the depressing news. Start your day with content that makes you believe in yourself.
When you consume greatness daily, it starts to feel completely normal. Soon, the idea of settling for a boring cubicle will feel totally insane to you. You'll begin to think bigger, act faster, expect so much more of yourself. You can literally rewire your entire brain for massive success just by changing what you look at and who you listen to every single day. So treat it like a garden, right? Your mind is a garden. If you plant negative seeds, you'll grow a massive negative life. If you plant seeds of belief, you'll grow a massive, awesome empire. You've got to ruthlessly protect your focus. So stop giving your attention to things that make you feel small and start obsessing over the ideas that make you feel powerful. The moment you change your inputs, the outputs will transform forever. But once you fix your surroundings, you need a system to actually get you moving. Which brings us to the simple 2% trick. Use the 2% rule to build massive momentum. The biggest thing you're missing right now is just momentum.
You're sitting on a truly great idea, but you haven't taken any real action. You're constantly overthinking it. You want everything to be 100% perfect before you finally launch. You want the perfect logo, the perfect website, the perfect business plan. Stop doing that. Perfectionism is just you being afraid. Studies reveal that perfectionism actually decreases your productivity and increases severe mental burnout. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to execute the first 2%. If your goal is to write a book, best-selling book, the first 2% is writing just one single page. If your goal is to start a massive YouTube channel, awesome. The first 2% is pulling out your phone and recording your first really messy video. Don't worry about step 100. Just focus completely on step number 1. Take the absolute smallest, easiest action right now. Once you take that first step, your brain, it's a quick win. And that quick win builds confidence, and that confidence creates momentum. So when I wrote my book about momentum, I didn't plan it out for long months. I just started typing furiously. The physical action itself creates the energy you need to keep going. So waiting around for the perfect moment, what does it do? It guarantees that you'll wait forever. Action cures fear every single time. When you're moving forward, you simply don't have the time to sit there and doubt yourself. So don't let your greatest ideas die just silently here in your head. Put them out into the real world. Start messy. Start small. But you've absolutely got to start when? Today. It doesn't matter if your first attempt looks crazy, ridiculous. The only thing that matters is that you aren't just standing still anymore. You're finally in the game. Every massive company started as some tiny, flawed little experiment. You are no different. So push through the hesitation, click publish, make the call, and watch how quickly your life begins to change. Now that you're moving, though, you've got to prepare yourself for the hardest phase of all. And this is where almost everyone quits. Expect to be terrible at first. So now you've got to accept a really harsh reality. Your first attempt at anything new is going to be absolutely terrible. Your first product will have tons of flaws. Your first video will be incredibly embarrassing. Your first major sales call will feel completely awkward. And that is completely normal. Everyone starts out at the bottom. You just don't see the messy hidden starts. Data shows that it takes roughly 1,000 hours of deliberate practice to truly master any complex skill. You just can't skip the struggle. When I first started on YouTube, I was completely terrified. I was shy, quiet, introverted. I did not like being on camera. It took me 350 videos before I wasn't completely embarrassed to watch myself back, and 700 public videos before I actually felt inspired by one piece of content that I made. And I made absolutely hundreds of terrible videos. You can go back and watch them. But I kept going anyway. Most people just quit because they tried 5 times and they expected to be world-class immediately. They let the ego stop you from making actual progress. So the fact that you're willing to try and be terrible becomes an actual secret advantage. So embrace the highly awkward phase. Look at your early failures as data, and that's going to be part of your story as you climb. Every single time you fail, you learn exactly what not to do. The next time will be an inspiration to others.
If you can handle looking foolish for a little while, you'll eventually become completely unstoppable. The only real failure in life is quitting before you get good. So you've got to give yourself permission to be a total beginner. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 20, right? Your journey is your journey, and that is okay. So put in the boring reps, do the unglamorous work.
The mastery that you want is waiting on the other side of 1,000 terrible attempts. And once you survive that awkward phase, you can speed up your results by borrowing the exact blueprints of people who've already won. Model the massive success of others. You don't need to figure out all of this on your own. That was one of the biggest mistakes I made early on. You don't have to reinvent the wheel to make a massive fortune. The smartest entrepreneurs study the exact people who've already won and simply model their success. So if you want to build $100,000 consulting business, find someone who already did exactly that. Study their public website, look at their specific pricing, see exactly how they talk to their premium clients. Then thoughtfully apply those same proven principles to your own unique style. According to the Small Business Administration, businesses that receive direct mentoring and strictly model-proven strategies are 2 times more likely to survive their first 5 difficult years. When my first business was struggling, I felt completely lost. I had no real idea how to turn things around. Then I decided to intensely study a highly successful software company, Microsoft, because I had a software company. I looked at how they operated. I looked at how they got their first clients, not how they make an extra million now. I didn't steal a copy of them, but I learned directly from Bill Gates's powerful framework. That single focused decision saved my entire company. Success always leaves clues. There's a roadmap out there for you to do whatever you want and achieve whatever you want. You just have to be humble and curious enough to actively go and follow it. So read the biographies of great leaders. Watch the long-form interviews of the performers that you look up to and respect. Find the hidden patterns in their daily behaviors and then creatively adapt them to your situation. Why would you spend 10 years making deeply painful mistakes when you can learn from someone else's expensive experience in just 10 days or 10 hours? So be an aggressive student of greatness, and your path to financial independence will be so much faster. You don't lack the ability, you just lack the right model. So find your ideal model, study them relentlessly, build your own blueprint for your special flavor, and then when you've got the right model, you need the right people. And there's a specific way to get the most powerful CEOs to take your call. Build real relationships instead of fake followers. So most people think that making money online means you definitely need millions of random followers, right? You think that you need to go incredibly viral to succeed. And that's a massive and actually dangerous distraction. You don't need 1 million casual subscribers to make $1 million. You just need deep, highly meaningful relationships. Don't worry about the vending metrics. They will constantly waste your time. Instead, focus on direct business development through high AV value connections. One of my favorite strategies, what we teach inside our Movement Makers program, is a business development show. It's a dedicated interview show. Don't constantly cold call potential clients. Warmly invite them onto your show to share their story. People love talking about themselves. When you feature them prominently, they feel valued and you built a relationship. Statistics clearly show that 84% of B2B sales start exactly with a warm referral or strong existing relationship. When you interview someone, you spend real focused time with them. You build authentic trust with them. That genuine trust turns into lucrative partnerships, massive referrals, highly paying clients. It literally doesn't matter if your new channel only has 200 total subscribers. We're going after people who have high demand but low media demand. You're coming in as media right now. And you can get top industry leaders who've built multi-million-dollar networks. So don't worry about the random clicks and start aggressively chasing real conversations. Add massive value to the exact people that you desperately want to work with. Feature their deep expertise. Ask them incredibly great questions. Do your research before you have them on. Give them a beautiful platform to share their story. When you actively become a super connector and a supporter, the big money naturally follows you everywhere you go. Your network is truly your actual net worth. So start building it deliberately and strategically today. Stop worrying about the algorithm and start obsessing over the actual human beings you want to serve. And building that network takes extreme focus, which means you've got to completely change how you manage your 24 hours. Make every single day truly count. Your limited time is your absolute most precious asset. If you want to permanently escape the endless job cycle and build your own incredible life, you've got to maximize your specific daily action. So you wake up every morning with a clear intention. Make today truly count before you hit your tired head on the pillow tonight. Do one specific thing that moves you significantly closer to your dream. Make one beautiful piece of art. Send one highly important email. Record one incredibly helpful video. Create something today that you desperately want your future grandkids to see. Research strongly indicates that completing just one highly meaningful task a day significantly boosts your overall life satisfaction and guarantees long-term success. To make real time for that meaningful work, you've got to ruthlessly manage your busy schedule. You must eliminate, automate, or delegate absolutely everything else. If a specific task doesn't directly serve your core mission, stop doing it. If a basic computer program or AI can do it, awesome. Automate it immediately. If someone else can do something significantly cheaper, hire them right away. Don't waste your unique genius on boring, busy work. Focus only on the high tasks that actually move the big needle forward. When you finally take control of your daily time, you instantly take total control of your personal income. You stop hopelessly trading hours for a flat, boring salary and start aggressively trading massive value for huge financial returns. You already have absolutely everything it takes to build a beautiful life of total freedom. You just have to firmly decide that you're ready to step up and claim it. And this brings us to the absolute most important truth of all. And it's something that I hope that you remember every single morning when you wake up. Your belief is your ultimate superpower. You are entirely capable of building a massive life on your own terms. So trust your vision. Take the messy action and never let fear make your decisions for you. Now let's learn the top 5 high-income skills that you can learn, ready to discover the skills that could skyrocket your success this year. These aren't academic theories. They're practical in-demand abilities that you can learn without a formal degree. Each skill taps into emerging market needs, offers entrepreneurial leverage, and has scalable impact. Let's dive in and imagine the possibilities each one opens up for your business and income. Skill number 1, AI integration and automation, turning intelligence into income. Okay, so what is it here? We're going to leverage AI and automation tools to streamline operations, create smarter products, or even launch AI-driven services. It's using machines to do the heavy thinking or doing for you. From chatbots that handle customer inquiries to AI systems that optimize your marketing or inventory in real time. Here's why it matters this year. The AI revolution isn't coming. It's right here now, and it's rewriting the rules of business. By 2024, 70% of organizations reported using AI in some capacity, up from just 55% the year before. Companies are pouring investments into AI at record levels, over $109 billion in the US in 2024, with nearly $34 billion globally into generative AI, and they desperately need people who can make it work. The catch, there's a huge talent gap. 94% of business leaders say they face AI-related skill shortages on their teams, with 1 in 3 reporting massive gaps in critical AI roles. What does that mean? Demand is way bigger than supply, and that means opportunities for you. Entrepreneurs who are AI savvy can step in and command premium prices for their solutions. This isn't just for tech companies either. From healthcare to finance, AI is being woven into daily operations. Even the FDA has approved hundreds of AI-enabled medical devices, and self-driving cars are logging thousands of rides right now. The world is racing to adopt AI, and those who can ride that wave stand to reap huge rewards. So, how can entrepreneurs profit? Think of AI as a force multiplier for your business. An entrepreneur with AI skills can automate super boring processes, freeing up time to scale faster. You can make smarter products with better features. You can offer AI AI consulting and integration services to companies who are willing to pay for help. So, for example, a small e-commerce founder might use AI to personalize their shopping experience for each customer, automatically leading to happier customers and higher sales. Or maybe you're launching a micro sales tool that uses AI like an AI scheduling assistant or content generator. Even a one-person business can serve thousands of customers when AI is doing most of the work. But the evidence is everywhere. Companies using AI report higher productivity and lower cost, and many have seen AI-driven projects boost their bottom line. One entrepreneur created an AI-powered copyright writing service and landed hundreds of clients globally, essentially earning money 24/7 as the AI works for them. The key is that AI is practical and learnable. With countless online courses and tools, you can start applying AI even if you're not a programmer. Many AI platforms are actually plug and play. So this year, knowing how to harness AI is like having a superpower. It's not just about efficiency, it's about unlocking new income streams. From automating your marketing to building the next JGBT-like app for a niche industry, AI integration is a skill that can pay off almost immediately. So embrace it and you ride the biggest tech wave of our era straight towards profit. Now AI might be the brains, but data is the backbone. So next, let's look at the skills that turn raw numbers into gold. Skill number 2, data analytics and business intelligence, profiting from big data. Okay, so what is it? It's the skill of collecting, analyzing, and drawing smart insights from data to drive business decisions. So data analytics is like having X-ray vision for your business. It lets you see the patterns and trends that normal people's eyes would miss. So business intelligence, or BI, goes hand in and focusing on those who are using insights to make strategic calls. This skill isn't about math genius. It's about knowing which numbers matter and how to translate them into action. So why it matters right now and this year. We live in a world that has tons of data. Every click, every purchase, every interaction, it can be tracked. But few people know how to turn that ocean of information into actual, real value. And that's where you can come in. Companies which realize that gut instinct isn't enough. 81% of businesses now believe data should be at the heart of all decision M, and they're willing to pay handsomely for those who can deliver results. Why? Because data-driven businesses simply perform better. They're more productive and more profitable on average than their less data-savvy peers. Companies that truly embrace analytics have seen deficiencies boost as high as 60 to 80% in operations. It's not just about giant corporations. Even small startups benefit when they can quickly identify which product feature is a hit or which marketing channel brings the best ROI. And this is a very clear trend. The global big data analytics market is massive. It's over 270 billion in value and still growing. And there's a shortage of professionals who can wrangle data effectively. Executives are literally hungry for insights. A recent survey found 88% of business leaders rank data analytics as a top priority for upskilling in the organization. So this year, being fluent in data is like having a secret weapon in your market. You base decisions on facts, not guesses, which is a recipe for winning. So how can entrepreneurs use it? Data analytics can make you rich in 2 ways. First, by apply it to your own business. You can pinpoint your most profitable customers. You can find inefficiencies to cut. You can test pricing strategies with actual hard evidence. For example, Netflix famously used data analytics to save $1 billion in a year by recommending exactly what viewers wanted. So imagine bringing that kind of insight into your business decisions. Secondly, you cancel this skill as a service to others. Many companies, especially smaller ones, they drown in data but have no idea what to do with it. You could come in as a freelance analyst or consultant, turn their data into a clear action plan, and charge premium fees for delivering growth or savings. So picture telling your client, I found a way to boost your sales 20% by analyzing your customer behavior, and then actually doing it. There are real case studies of entrepreneurs doing just this. One startup founder used business intelligence tools to optimize her inventory and eliminated over $100,000 in annual waste, directly padding her profits. Another built a consulting agency that helps local businesses set up simple dashboards and KPIs, and within a year he was booking 5-figure contracts regularly. The bottom line is data analytics is practical and learnable. There's tons of online courses, YouTube videos, tools that are now drag and drop. Master it and you can either supercharge your own business or become the go-to data guru who turns others' confusion into cash. So in this year, data, it's a new oil, and knowing how to drill for it is an extremely high income skill. Now, having great data is pointless if you can't attract customers. That's where our next skill comes in. It's time to cash in on the art of getting noticed. Skill number 3, digital marketing and growth hacking, scaling visibility into wealth. So what is it? Digital marketing is a skill of getting customers for people's businesses online through channels like social media, through search engines, through email, through LLMs and more. Growth hacking is a trendy way to say creative, fast-paced marketing experimentation, right? So finding clever low-cost tactics to drive growth or sales for your business or other people's. This skill is about making your business impossible to ignore on the internet and turning that attention into revenue. So it covers everything from running targeted ads, optimizing a website, to rank on Google or GPT, crafting viral content, analyzing campaign data to tweak for better results, making YouTube videos to spread your message. Why it matters this year is you could have the best product or service in the world, but if nobody knows about it, you don't make adim. This year, digital marketing remains one of the highest skills for entrepreneurs because online attention is the currency of our kingdom. Just look at the numbers. Global digital ad spending is projected to hit $843 billion. Yes, with a B. Companies large and small are pouring money into Facebook ads, Google searches, TikTok videos, wherever their audience lives online, and they need experts who know how to navigate this landscape. The job outlook also reflects that demand. Marketing roles are expected to grow by 10% faster than the average for all careers. And in particular, there's surging demand for people skilled in areas like marketing analytics, content creation, and SEO, SEM, because every business wants to rank number 1 on Google and decode the algorithms of ChatGPT. The beauty of digital marketing is that it's practical and learnable. No MBA required, just practice, creativity, and keeping up with the trends. We're also seeing new frontiers, like AI-driven marketing. Over 50% of businesses are already using generative AI to improve their operations. All this means that entrepreneurial marketers who stay sharp can out-hustle their bigger competitors. So in this year, if you know how to get the right message to the right people at the right time online, you basically have a license to print money. So how can you use it as an entrepreneur? Digital marketing is often the make or break skill that determines if you scale or if you stay stuck. And so if you master it and you can acquire customers on demand, you can enter new markets quickly. You can even build a personal brand that multiplies all of your opportunities. Take, for example, an online fitness coach who leverages social media marketing by mastering YouTube and Instagram. She grows her audience to hundreds of thousands and launches a fitness app that earns 7 figures online. Or think of a small local business owner who uses savvy Google search ads and SEO to dominate local search traffic, right? Their store goes from unknown to the go-to place in town. And these aren't hypotheticals. These things are happening right now all around us. As an entrepreneur, you can also sell digital marketing expertise. If you're great at, say, SEO or Facebook ads, you can freelance or start an agency. Businesses are eager to pay because they've seen the ROI. For every dollar spent on email marketing can yield $36 in return, as various studies have shown. So a skilled email marketer is worth their weight in gold. Another real-world use case. An entrepreneur growth hacked his startup by creating a referral program that went viral. So think Dropbox's free storage for referral strategy. Acquire millions of users without a massive ad budget. That's growth hacking in action. So digital marketing lets you scale up quickly. An ad campaign can reach millions of people overnight. A piece of content that catches fire can bring in floods of traffic. You're not limited by your local area, your storefront. And with analytics tools, you can measure every penny and double down on what works. Like truly data-driven marketing. And the emotional side.
It's pretty thrilling to see your business blow up because of a campaign that you created. The control is right here. It's in your hands, with consumer attention shifting every year. Today, it might be YouTube or LinkedIn newsletters. Tomorrow, who knows? Entrepreneurs who have the skill will ride each wave and outpace their competition. Digital marketing and growth hacking are high-income skills because they directly drive revenue. And mastering them means you can virtually write your own success story in this digital age. So now you've got the customer's attention. Now we need to convince them to open their wallets. The next skill is all about the art of persuasion, and it's one of the oldest and most profitable tricks in the book. Skill number 4, persuasive communication and storytelling. Selling anything to anyone. So what is it? This is the skill of conveying ideas in a compelling way. So that's through sales pitches and marketing copy, or even everyday networking conversations. It includes sales and negotiation, right? Convincing a customer partner to say yes. Copywriting, which is writing words that sell from ads to landing pages. And storytelling, crafting a narrative that hooks people in emotionally. It's how to talk or write so people listen, trust you, and feel motivated to act, like clicking the buy now or signing a contract. Why it matters this year is no matter how advanced technology gets, the power of a good story and genuine connection never goes out of style. In fact, as automation rises, those human-centered skills become more valuable. This year's marketplace is hyper-stimulated. Consumers see thousands of ads and posts a day. So the ability to cut through that noise with a resonant message is pure gold. 68% of consumers say that a brand story influences their buying decisions. People remember stories up to 22 times more than plain facts. That's huge for entrepreneurs trying to build a memorable brand or pitch to investors. And yes, we see evidence that storytelling and communication translate to better results. Marketing campaigns built around the narrative can boost conversion rates by 30% or more. On the sales side, companies are actively looking for leaders with strong social influence and communication skills. Even the World Economic Forum highlighted leadership and social influence as a top skill for the future. Why? Because a person who can rally a team, win over a client, negotiate a profitable deal, they are invaluable. Also, let's talk money. Jobs like sales executives or copywriters are often high-paying because they directly bring in revenue. A top-performing tech sales rep, for example, can earn a 6-figure base salary plus another 6 figures in commissions. Copywriters who crack the code of persuasion are similarly rewarded. Many freelance copywriters charge $100 plus an hour, and businesses happily pay because one killer sales page or email sequence can generate hundreds of thousands in sales.
Words are powerful, and this year, those who can wield that power expertly will find that it translates into serious income. So how can you use it as an entrepreneur? You're always selling not just your products, but your vision, your brand, even selling yourself as a trustworthy partner. Persuasive communication turns this into a superpower. Mastering storytelling means you can craft a brand narrative that makes customers feel something and remember you. So, for example, instead of just saying, "Our shoe is comfortable," you share the story of a customer who, thanks to your shoe, ran their first marathon pain-free to honor a loved one. Right now, you're not just selling a shoe. You're selling inspiration, you're selling identity. That's the difference that makes people lifetime fans. On a more practical side, entrepreneurs skilled in communication, they'll just close more deals. So imagine you're negotiating with a supplier or an investor. If you can clearly articulate your value and persuade them effectively, you'll likely get better terms, maybe tens of thousands, saved or gained in one conversation. If you sell services or high-ticket products, strong sales techniques like consultative selling or solutions-based selling is key. Today's customers expect you to understand their needs and tailor your offer. Being able to do that can literally double or triple your closing rate. So for example,
You can monetize a skill by offering freelance copywriting or sales consulting. Great copywriters are in short supply even with AI writing tools around, because someone has to give the AI the right emotional direction. Businesses will pay top dollar for mails and ads that actually convert. One excellent sales page can be worth millions to a company, so paying a writer $100,000 a craft, it's a no-brainer for some companies. Skilled copywriters routinely earn over $15,000 a year once they built a reputation. And don't forget content creators and influencers.
They are essentially storytellers too, turning authentic communication into followers and income from ads and sponsorships or product sales. Emotions drive decisions, and if you can tap into emotions with genuine communication, you can drive decisions in your favor. So this year, mastering persuasive communication and storytelling isn't just a nice to have. It's often the difference between a business that just fizzles out and one that actually becomes a phenomenon. We've covered brains, data, marketing, charm. Our final skill might not sound as glamorous, but it's a massive moneymaker in today's world. It's all about protecting the wealth that you're building, and it's an area where demand is exploding. Skill number 5, cybersecurity and data protection, guarding the digital goldmine. Okay, so what is it? Cybersecurity is the skill of keeping data, software, systems safe from hackers and breaches. It's being the digital bodyguard for businesses. This includes understanding how to prevent attacks. So think malware, phishing, ransomware, knowing how to plug vulnerabilities in networks or websites, and making sure that companies follow best practices. So sensitive information like consumer data is not stolen or compromised. It's deeply technical for those who specialize, but at a high level, it's very learn by doing problem-solving field, and you don't need a PhD to get good at it. Just solid training and experience and a curious mind. Data protection goes hand in hand. So think dealing with proper handling and compliance like the laws of the land. So for an entrepreneur, having cybersecurity skills means that you can both protect your own venture, but also potentially offer security solutions to other people as a business. So why does it matter this year? One word: risk. As businesses digitize every aspect of their operations, the risk of cyber attacks have skyrocketed, and so have the costs. The average cost of a single data breach hit an eye-watering $4.9 million globally.
So for a small or mid-sized company, that kind of hit can be fatal. That's why firms are desperate for cybersecurity expertise, and why it's become a high-income skill, high-demand skill. We're in a situation where there aren't nearly enough cybersecurity pros to go around. The global cybersecurity workforce is millions short. One recent study showed about 4.8 million cybersecurity roles are unfulfilled worldwide. There are millions of openings and not enough people with the skills. A gap that widened by 19% in just 1 year. So talent shortage is actually the number one obstacle companies face in securing their systems. This kind of supply-demand mismatch is exactly what drives up incomes for those who have the skill. So companies have even started to prioritize this in budgets because they simply cannot afford the alternative. Companies without adequate security staff end up paying on average $1.76 million more per breach due to slower response and damage control. But just beyond, like corporate IT departments, every entrepreneur with an online presence needs at least basic cybersecurity savviness. Cyber threats this year are more sophisticated. Yes, hackers are using AI too. So on top of that, customer trust and regulations require more solid data protection. You don't want to be that startup that leaked user data and lost credibility overnight. So from ransomware attacks shutting down hospitals to small businesses getting scammed from phishing, the threat is universal. This urgency is driving a huge market for cybersecurity products and consultants. Global spending on cybersecurity is rising every year, tens of billions of dollars annually, as businesses effectively say, please take our money and keep us safe. If you can step in with the skills to do so, you will be richly rewarded. So, as some evidence, top freelance cybersecurity experts report rates of $200 to $300 an hour, and experienced security consultants can make over $5,000 a year by serving multiple clients.
So it's no surprise that when the stakes are this high, companies are willing to pay for peace of mind. So how can entrepreneurs use it? If you're building your own company, cybersecurity skills are like an insurance policy and a selling point. You can save a ton of money by implementing security measures yourself instead of hiring some expensive firms, and avoid disaster that could derail your business. But also, being more security minded from day one can be a competitive advantage. You can use that in your marketing. Customers and partners will feel safer dealing with you. So for example, an e-commerce entrepreneur who knows how to secure their payment systems and protect customer data not only avoids costly breaches, but can market their store as ultra secure, which gains more customer trust and extra sales in an era of privacy concerns. On the other side, cybersecurity is also an amazing service and a business opportunity. So given that huge talent gap, you could start a consultancy or freelance as a virtual CISO, as Chief Information Security Officer for multiple small companies that can't afford one in-house. They get your expertise part-time. You get a hefty paycheck. Some entrepreneurs are launching cybersecurity startups. So whether that's developing a niche security software tool, or you're offering specialized training, there's even demand for things like ethical hackers who companies pay to test their defenses. We've seen solo consultants charge retainers in the thousands per month per client just to be on call for security incidents. And with new data privacy laws popping up all the time, like Europe's GDPR and others, businesses are scrambling for guidance, which is another avenue for advisory services you could offer if you're well versed in compliance. So the key point is this: threats are growing and talent is scarce. If you equip yourself with this skill, you become part of a highly sought after elite group of people. Not only can you command higher fees because preventing a multi-million-dollar breach is essentially worth a high payout, but you also carry the confidence that you can protect the empire that you're building to in a time where a single hack can wipe out years of effort. The entrepreneurs who understand cybersecurity will safeguard their wealth and even turn security into a profitable service for others. It's truly a high-impact, high-income skill for today's age. So each of these 5 skills, AI integration, data analytics, digital marketing, persuasive communication, and cybersecurity, hits the sweet spot of being practical, learnable, and immediately valuable this year. They align with the biggest technology shifts and market needs that we are seeing right now. AI is everywhere. Data is the king. Online growth is non-negotiable. Human connection still seals a deal, and security underpins it all. The best part is you don't need a fancy degree to get started with any of these. There are YouTube videos, boot camps, online courses, communities for each skill that you can start learning right now. Entrepreneurs who invest time in mastering even 1 or 2 of these will position themselves to generate wealth in the short term. We're talking within a year or 2, not decades. And it's all backed by trends and numbers that I've already cited throughout this entire video. The market is hungry for these abilities. So ask yourself, which of these skills speaks to you right now? The entrepreneurs getting rich this year aren't necessarily the ones with the most funding or the fanciest ideas. Often they're the ones who have the right skills at the right time and execute relentlessly. Now you know 5 of those right skills. It's time to choose, learn, and leap. Here's to your success, because this year might be the year your hard work and high income skills make you the next great success story. If you want to learn what I would do if I started a brand new business today, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there. If I lost everything tomorrow and had to start a brand new business this year with no audience and no savings, I wouldn't panic.